introduce me to?
Yeah.
Witches of Eastwick, and it's based on John Updike's novel about three Connecticut housewives who would like a little more excitement in their lives, and they get a lot more than they really bargained for. As the three so-called witches, the movie stars here, from left to right, Susan Sarandon, Cher, and Michelle Pfeiffer, who get to thinking one day about what kind of a man they'd like to meet.
A stranger, that would be interesting. A tall, dark prince traveling under a curse.
They say you ought to be careful about what you ask for because you just might get it. And that's what happens to them when a strange man named Darrell Van Horn turns up in town. He's played by Jack Nicholson. This guy has the strange ability to read your mind. He's able to tell each woman exactly what she wants to hear.
Do you know the entire witchcraft scare? I mean, Christ, as far back as the 14th century was started by the medical profession. That's right. They were trying to get midwives out of the childbirthing business. That's what they were. Most of the women that they burned, midwives.
Is that true?
You better believe it. Just another example of male-dominated professional society exploiting females for their own selfish purposes.
And there's that famous Nicholson smirk. Eventually, the three women decide they were happier when they were bored, and they use voodoo to try to get rid of Nicholson.
And, some chocolate chip.
Okay?
What is it?
The Witches of Eastwick is an odd, strange goofball movie, and I liked it a lot. It's not afraid to be eccentric, and it isn't afraid to allow all of its actors to really stretch into the kinds of people we don't see every day,
no kidding.
Especially in Eastwick. It's quite possible that no actor except Jack Nicholson in the whole world could have played the role of Darrell Van Horn, certainly quite this way, the devil who comes to live in Eastwick. He has a way of raising those eyebrows and giving us that big, diabolical grin, and we know he's capable of anything, literally. And as for Susan Sarandon, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Cher, they're like a trio. Their timing is wonderful. They're great when they're playing Nicholson's foils, and at the end of the movie, when they get their revenge, you can almost feel the fun they're having. And I had a whole lot of fun, too.
I had a whole lot of fun for, I'd say, about two-thirds of the movie. And Nicholson, I mean, he's a national treasure now. I think he is our biggest star. I think he's going to last for centuries. I mean, he is.
Decades, for sure.
When he goes sliding across the bed in his pajamas as the devil, I mean, that's just a beautiful scene. That's just wonderful. Then, at the end of the picture, they start to use some special effects and gloppy stuff and twisting bodies and stuff that comes out of horror films. And I felt badly that they did that with Jack Nicholson, because Jack Nicholson doesn't need special effects. I said this about Eddie Murphy in The Golden Child. He is a special effect in himself, and I don't think that he needed all of that glop at the end. Cut that out. I think you got a perfect movie.
Well, they use the special effects, but I don't think they use them the way they use them in horror films. The special effects here are more like a comedic backdrop to what's happening, rather than the subject, which is the case in horror films.
Throw them out, you still got a better picture, right?
But you recommend it, right?
You bet.
Me too. I liked it a lot.
And finally, we agreed on Witches of Eastwick, Roger liking it more than I did. We both, however, admired Jack Nicholson tremendously. 2 thumbs up.
With a couple of exceptions, Jack Nicholson throughout his career has been the guarantee that if he's in a movie, it's going to be interesting.